Welcome to Save U.S. Taxes Legally. I'm going to start off with three simple questions. I'm going to tell you more about it, the history, then about the loss, and then also about myself. Let's start off with three simple questions. Number one, do you want to leave a legacy for future generations? Number two, do you want to save taxes year after year, generations after generations? Number three, do you want to learn the secret of the rich? You said yes to all three questions, you're in the right location. Imagine saving four, five, six figures in taxes year after year, generation after generation. You could uh, put it back into your business. You could pay off your mortgage, buy a new vehicle, take the family on vacation, give to a charity, save for retirement, or do all of that. Imagine nobody knows what you own, where you own it, how much you own, what you do with it, and when you sell it. Imagine all lawsuits become frivolous and go away. How much time, money, worry, anxiety just disappear. This is what the TaxShield method will do for you. It's going to save you taxes, keep your information 100% private, and all lawsuits become frivolous. So, I know what you're asking. This sounds too good to be true, but it is true. You're asking how come my CPA or my financial advisor know about this? 97% of the trusts sold in the United States are the family trust or the living trust. There are over 1 million active attorneys in the United States, and only 4% are trust attorneys. The law firm I work on behalf of has 5 trust attorneys on staff, and they have the copyright on the Benson Financial Trust. Paul Benson was a Harvard law professor who wrote 5 separate trusts 77 years ago. There's the business trust to save federal and state income taxes, the beneficial trust for investors to no longer pay taxes on any profits, the senior trust if you're over 65 and making too much money on Medicare, the charitable trust if you want to have a 501c3 company, and finally, the mineral rights trust. In 77 years, not a single trust has ever been audited, and only one trust has been examined by a senior IRS agent, and he approved it. Now, I believe every U.S. business owner, U.S. entrepreneur, U.S. franchisee owner, and U.S. 1099 income owner and U.S. investor needs to know this information. It's not taught in schools. I also believe since I learned the secret of the rich, it is my duty to teach it to others. I also believe the playing field must be equal for everybody. The Amazons of the world get free land. My brother's brewery lost their lease because the rents went too high. So, a little bit of history. This comes from England way back in 1854 when King Henry VIII, that famous king who chopped off his wives' heads, started the Church of England. Murder a few ladies, start a church. Hey, why not? He started the Church of England so he could divorce his wives, and he went to go tax the lords and ladies of England, and they went further back to history to the Magna Carta. Said, oh, no, King Henry VIII, you can't do this. It's contract law that came to the colonies while we were still part of England. Our current tax structure that we are under went into effect February of 1913 and was only supposed to be around for a few years. Well, we got involved into World War I, and it's never left. The only thing it has done is grown and grown and grown and grown and grown. Back in 1913, the super rich families, the Carnegies, the DuPonts, the Kennedys, the Rockefellers made sure they could save taxes. Guess what? If they can save taxes, we can save taxes. Again, I'm a representative of the law firm that was started by Paul Benson, a Harvard law professor. Now his grandson and great-grandsons run the law firm, and they have the copyright on the Benson Financial Trust. Since we're going to be spending some time together, I want to tell you a little bit about myself. My watershed month for me was October 2018. I'm living in Phoenix, Arizona, working as a Medicare broker, and my oldest nephew is getting married in Charlotte, North Carolina, October 28, 2018. I had worked for the company for more than a year and requested the Friday before the wedding and the Monday after the wedding off so I can spend some time with friends and family from all over the world. I was denied. Liked working there even less. Second thing that happened, my 3-week-old car, brand new car, sports car with a moonroof. You need that in Phoenix at night. I'm going to work at 7 o'clock in the morning on Indian School Road. I'm the second car through on a green light when some bozo runs the red light, T-bones me on my passenger side, and he has no insurance. I have $25,000 in property damage, uninsured property damage. Doesn't cover the auto loan that I had on that car. I'm upside down on that vehicle, and I had to get a second vehicle. All of a sudden, I go from being comfortable to eating ramen noodles twice a week, like I did in college. In college, I'm 20 years old, and now I'm 53 years old, and this is not the way life should be. Third thing that happened, my mom and dad, who lived in Goodyear, Arizona, 20 miles west of Phoenix on I-10, drove from Goodyear to Charlotte for the wedding. They were supposed to be gone for 2 weeks. My dad calls Thursday before the wedding to say my mom's in the emergency room. He doesn't know what's wrong. I work Friday before the wedding till 8 o'clock, take a red eye from Phoenix to Charlotte. I meet my 2 nephews, my dad, we go out to IHOP for breakfast because family tradition. And then my dad takes me to the hospital to see my mom. I walked in on the priest giving my mom last rites. I wasn't ready for that. I didn't know she was so sick. 3 o'clock that afternoon, I go to a church wedding, then onto a country club. I ate too much, I danced too much, I drank too much. I had a great time at the wedding. Next morning, Sunday morning, my sister-in-law puts on this humongous brunch for all of us from out of town, talking to cousins and aunts and uncles from all over the world. And my dad taps me on the shoulder and says, we have to leave. Drives me back to the hospital, see my mom, and then drops me off at the airport to fly back to Phoenix because I had to be at work at 6 o'clock the next morning. It ended up that my mom had septic of the blood or blood poisoning. I got into a pacemaker. They had to do open heart surgery, take out her old pacemaker and put in a new pacemaker. She was on a ventilator for 13 months, in a hospital for 15 months. My dad stayed with her while she was in Charlotte getting strong enough to come back to the Phoenix area. He was only supposed to be gone for 2 weeks. So I'm going out to their house every Saturday to do the mail and send him the important information. First week of December, there's a letter that's 27 pages thick. It's my mom's Medicare statement, being in the emergency room and 1 month on a ventilator in an ICU ward, $72,000. I'm not concerned about her. My dad's a retired military officer. They have TRICARE for life. Everything that could be done for her is being done for her. Thank God she got better and came home. I'm standing in my mom and dad's kitchen. I have a mortgage. I have 2 car payments. I have a $10,000 deductible on my health insurance. Thank God I wasn't injured in the car accident and no ambulance was called. I have student loans because I went to graduate school. I have credit card debt, and I hate my job. So right there in my parents' kitchen, I called my friend Glenn, who had invited me to a real estate meeting, August of 2018, and I said to Glenn, I have to put this on hold during open enrollment. Glenn answers, he's like, Sally, next Saturday, we're having a Christmas potluck dinner. Bring some food and a $5 gift, meet my fellow real estate investors. Okay, I know Glenn and Rhonda. Oh no, they're going to a Christmas pageant and they won't be there until 9:30. They want me to show up at 6 o'clock. Pulled on my big girl pants. I went to the party and had a great time. I met my third cousin. I met my mentor, everything else. In 2019, with my mentor, Jay Tannenbaum, I wholesaled 7 properties nationwide, and I was a rock star in my real estate group. Paid off all my debt, had $50,000 sitting in my bank account. I thought I knew what I was doing. Fast forward, April 4th, 2020, my CPA calls and says, congratulations, Sally. You made so much money, your tax bracket went from 22% to 24%. Let me share my screen because most people don't know about tax brackets. You know, death and taxes are taboo subjects. So there's 4 ways to file your taxes. Single's the most expensive way. Head of household, when you have children 18 or younger. Married separately. If you learn anything from this conversation, make sure you file married jointly. They get the best tax rates. So I went from 22%, 100,000, 100,525 to 24%. This is remember, April 4th is the start of COVID. 3 of my properties didn't pay me April 1st. I'm in a money crunch. Go out to his office, sign the paperwork to get on a payment plan, get my parking validated, go down to the parking garage, and literally cried for 20 minutes. you know where Scottsdale is? It's east of Phoenix. I had to drive back to Phoenix. My mom is Irish. My great aunt Kitty in Ireland always said sleep on it. So I was thinking, where am I going to get $24,000? I don't know. So I'm going to sleep on it. Next morning, I wake up. I remember I had read an article about the Rockefellers Spendthrift Trust. It's called The Office. And I Googled it and started getting as much information about a Spendthrift Trust. It took me 5 months, but in September of 2020, I started both my business and my beneficial Spendthrift Trust. And I became the first female mastermind holder in my real estate group. Very proud of that fact. To teach other investors how to save taxes too. So let me share my screen again. You've seen the tax brackets. Go down. This is my first house. I purposely bought a bank-owned mortgage in North Carolina so I could write it off on taxes to go visit my mom while she's in the emergency, while she's on the ventilator. I bought it in July of 2020. Didn't start my trust until September of 2020. So I had to do 2 simple bill of sales. Googled them. I Googled how to do this. 1 bill of sale from Sally's real estate team to Sally for Rocky Mount, North Carolina. Second one from Sally Gimmon to the trust. I drove to the bank. I got them notarized. I had $10 in my wallet. I handed it to the banker. He made a note. Consideration was made, and he handed it back to me. Drive home. I'm in Phoenix. I scan them, send them to the attorney in Raleigh, North Carolina. The next day, the attorney in Raleigh says he needs the first page of my trust. It didn't go to auction until August 28th of 2021 because of COVID restrictions. But I knew the spread between $20,000 to $50,000 would be $710 at 24% tax bracket. Well, when it finally went to auction, and I made $44,326, woohoo, without lifting a hammer, the way I love to do real estate. At 24%, I knew I was going to save $10,368 on that first property. I'm not trying to crow, but since September of 2020, I have wholesaled 28 properties. I have a crypto bot that's between Bitcoin and Ethereum. Every time it changes, I get 10 cents, 20 cents, 30 cents. It's about $50 a day. I have 12 notes where I'm the paper on the house. People pay me their mortgage. I have 3 rentals, and I have 3 seller financing houses. And my friend Glenn does my options trading. I don't pay taxes on any of that. It's an amazing thing. So, with the Beneficial Spendthrift Trust, the 5 taxes you're going to save. Capital gains. Short-term capital gains are a year or less and affect you when you sell crypto. You're a forex investor, wholesaling, fix and flipping, auction houses, or tax liens. Interest income taxes is for passive investors. Maybe you're in mutual funds. Maybe you're in a REIT. Maybe you're doing subject to real estate. The BRRRR strategy. My notes where I'm the paper on the house and people pay me their mortgage. Creative financing, seller financing, or forex investors. Yep, forex investors, you get taxed twice. You need this trust. Dividend income taxes. Maybe you're in the stock market. Maybe you're a day trader. Maybe you're an options trader, a futures trader. Maybe you're doing commodities or living on dividend income taxes. All of you are getting taxed between 10% to 37%, depending on your tax bracket. And then rental income taxes. You have short-term rentals like Airbnb, vacation rentals. Maybe you have 3 doors, 5 doors, 10 doors, 20 doors, multifamily or apartment buildings. Maybe you're in commercial real estate, or maybe you're doing Airbnb arbitrage. Yes, you can put a building on I just forgot it. I just forgot the name. Ooh, not delinquent, but a schedule of 27.5 years, or a cost averaging into the trust. Because remember, the trust is going to keep your information private, and all lawsuits are going to become frivolous. So the renter's dog gets out and bites the mailman, he can't come after you. And any property you buy after that, you don't have to do cost segregation or depreciation. Remember that, depreciation on those buildings. Now, the only one that's not on here is royalty income taxes. They're taxed a little bit less, between 10% to 35%. And affect you if you're an actor, an actress, a musician, an author, an artist, if you're in the NFT world, if you have copyrights, patents, or intellectual information. So I'm taking $50,000 and showing you how much you pay in taxes for each tax bracket. So at 24%, if I make a profit of $50,000, I owe $12,000. If I'm at 35%, I owe $17,500. Over and over and over again. This is the beneficial trust. It is for all U.S. investors. You will save taxes on all your profits. Now we're shifting gears and we're going to the business trust. This is for all U.S. business owners, entrepreneurs, franchisee owners, and 1099 income earners. I personally have 3 online businesses where I get paid 1099 income. That's why I have both the business and beneficial trust. This first one, the mechanic in New Jersey, he and his wife run the shop. They have 3 children who want nothing to do with the auto mechanic shop. So in September of 2024, with his savings of $3,039 a month, he went to the local high school, hired 2 kids who want to learn auto mechanics. They come after school and on Saturday, so he brings in more business. The salon owner, and she has a salon school in Los Angeles making $1 million a year. She's saving $33,467 per month. The Shopify owner who sells earrings. She was 23 years old. Her store was making money month after month after month after month, and she too went from 22% to 24%. If she doesn't do anything else, if her store doesn't grow, in 10 years, she would have saved $173,000 she'll never have to pay back. A home inspection company in Ohio, with their $6,000 a month savings, they're going to hire a 7th inspector. A real estate broker in Illinois, he's saving almost $500 per month. He had me present to his top 7 salespeople who all made more than $100,000 in 2023. He's an affiliate of mine, so he made an extra $7,000. A dentist in San Diego, California, he's going to use his savings to pay student loans. An HVAC owner, the business broker brought this to me. So the gentleman who sold the company saved long-term capital gains. This is the gentleman who bought the company. With his $20,000 per month savings, he's going to add a 13th truck and maybe a 14th truck in 2025. A real estate agent on one house, August of 2023. I just saw her at a Christmas party in December, and in 2026, so I just lied. In 2024, she sold 6 more properties. A business coach in Indiana, a chiropractor in upstate New York, the franchisee sub-owner in Ohio. He took his $40,122 savings, and he opened up a 3rd location, and he wants to have 5 locations in the next few years. An Amazon store owner in Oregon, a commercial light salesman in Chicago. He only works 3 days a week because he hates paying taxes. He promised me he's going to start working 5 days a week, whatever he wants to do. And finally, a paid speaker in Iowa. Now, long-term capital gains. This is when you sell your business, sell an investment property, or a baseball card. They're either 15% or 20% on the profit. True story. A grown son saw my TikTok video, contacted me saying his parents were going to sell a 42-year-old restaurant that Jim, the father, and his brothers built. Talked to Jim. He was working with a business broker, Sam. We talked to Sam to get this contract rewritten. Sam's like, I make 1099 income. Let me get the Business Spendthrift Trust. Told him about my affiliate program. He tells Michael, the gentleman who's buying the restaurant, it's going to be his 7th restaurant in 3 different states. And Michael bought the business trust. So Sam got paid for that. This is one of my favorite stories. A local pizzeria here in Charlotte. I took my friend Ingrid door knocking in a cold, blustery day in March. We show up about 2 o'clock in the afternoon to get a New York style white pizza, best pizza that's available. We sat there, we chit-chatted for 2 hours. As we got up to leave, the owner, Mario, asked for my business card because he and his wife were doing the 2022 taxes. I met Mario and Marianne about a week later. We knew with the 2 locations, they were making about $15,000 gross per month, which equals $180,000 per year. They filed jointly at 22% tax rate. Their taxes would be $30,215 in federal taxes. That's without any deductibles. At 90%, they would save $27,193. Add in North Carolina state income taxes of $7,710. So they would save $34,903 in a full year of 2023. Again, they started this in March. Well, what they did with their savings in 2024, they opened a 3rd location. And in 2025, they're going to open a fourth location. When they retire in 3036, they leave 2 pizzerias to 1 adult child and 2 pizzerias to a second adult child. There's no inheritance tax. There's no probate. And then the adult children will continue to save federal and state income taxes. Now, every time I sell a trust, I can palm a basketball. My mom grew up in rural Ireland. My grandfather died December 1939, and her fingers were an inch longer than mine. So I donate to St. Mary's Food Bank. If you would like to set up a 30-minute tax breakthrough session with me, it's not a sales call. I'm going to show you how much you will save if you go with the trust and per month. It's www.thetrustisyou.com/scheduling. My free class on the Great Discovery. You'll get a presentation similar to this. You get 3 articles from Forbes magazine, 2 pages of case law so you can research this to your heart's content. It's www.sallygimmon.com. Now I'm going to stop recording. I'm going to open this up for questioning. Thank you for coming. Have a beautiful day.